like I tell a lot of people when they ride these bikes, you gotta respect it. If it don't, it's gonna show you the respect it wants.
So this book, which inspired me to do this collection, Brooklyn Kings.
Yes.
And there's an essay by this dude, Greg Tate, who's actually like, I never met him, but was a good friend of, I know he passed away, rest in peace to Greg Tate, amazing writer, black writer. And he wrote the essays in this book that was photographs by Martin Dixon. So in the first essay, Greg Tate, the writer, writes, one of the special things about black bike culture, specifically in Brooklyn, it's amazing, it's incredible, but it hasn't been commodified in the sense, let's say, like someone who plays basketball that's black, or someone who raps or makes music. Why do you think that is? And not saying that's a bad thing that it hasn't.
Honestly, I think we gotta. It's almost. I want to say we almost got a stigma where black guys aren't supposed to be on Harley Davidsons.
He talks about that too.
Okay. Now, I got a segment on my TikTok.
Yeah.
2.7 million views on my TikTok.
Wow.
Because I came out with this custom bike. It got the fancy colors and shit like that. And you could just hear the comments where the white people is inferior or feel away about me fucking up Harley Davidson. I'm not gonna go on your page and I don't even know you and comment on some shit that you got going on.
Yeah.
That's your preference, that's what you like, so you enjoy it. The same with us. Y'all will never understand our culture because we more flashy, we like outlandish stuff, and that's just what it is.
The funny thing, it ain't funny, but it is ironic that someone commenting on your TikTok about you, treating you as an outsider when white folks first started riding bikes and that culture, they were the outsiders.
Correct.
And they were getting hated on by squares. So it's always interesting how the outsiders, a lot of times the outsiders become the squares, right? And it's just like they got like a goldfish memory.
Correct.
You know?
And I didn't have people reach out to me from Harley dealerships and was like, Meatloaf, we love what you're doing. How can we get what you got going on a part of like their dealership or whatever? And I said that's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard because it gotta come from corporate first. And the corporate ain't gonna allow what black guys created to come into their dealership bringing a culture like that.
Yeah.
So it's from the higher ups.
Yeah.
They're not gonna approve it. You know, and I explained that to them.
I always use this quote. There's this guy named Joe Casey Hayford. He's a black fashion designer that passed away recently. He told my man A-Side, don't let hip hop culture be the only thing that defines you as a black man. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I see that when I was introduced to you and what you and your peoples do is like y'all taking something that, because there's all parts of black culture. It isn't just basketball and hip hop and sports or jazz. There's loads of things we can do or do that we're involved in, that we're great at, that's beautiful. Fucked up things, good things, all things, but there's very few. It's always like this, that, or the third. And I think that's what Greg Tate was saying. It was just like, that's why, and it's funny, you've expounded on my question, is like, that's why it hasn't been commodified. Because even that, it's like, it's got to come from corporate. But does corporate, do Harley Davidson really want to see?
No.
You know what I mean? That light shown on.
Not at all.
Harley shown in that way.
Not at all.
You know?
My thing is too, I know I'm an influencer when it comes to the Harley game.
Yeah.
Us being influencers, we're not getting no credit from Harley Davidson. They reaping the benefits. We not reaping nothing.
Yeah.
Yo, Meatloaf, I got my bike because of you. Come, and they come in here to show me that they got their bike.
Yeah.
So if I got that much influence, what's my thing? My thing is, yes, I want to come out my own line of production motorcycles.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't I?
Well, that's the beautiful part too. Is like, obviously this, and you know, I'm just assuming this financial restraint. So it's not like you can just start your own bike company tomorrow.
Correct.
You do a lot within, you know what I mean, within your means, just like I do. You know, like, but I can't just go buy a factory.
Exactly.
And tomorrow, and I'm start printing out my clothing. I can make the clothing, you know, or you know, just like within your remit, you can customize and make a bike, but making 150 or making 2,000 that you could sell, that's a different thing. And but on the positive side, I feel like you and your team at this current moment in society have a voice much louder than black bikers of the past.
Exactly. When we had the bike shop, we had a bike shop over there in Brownsville, next to BRC.
Yeah.
That was our first shop. And I had like two, three investors reached out to me. And it was like, Meatloaf, we love what you're doing. It's amazing. But the average person ain't even making $20,000 a year in the neighborhood where you at. So I don't feel comfortable investing my money into Rockboy choppers because of the area.
Wow.
This is what he told me. He said, on top of it, I know you're not afraid of your own people, but for a person that's want to invest in your company, you got to change your area. And I said, damn, this shit sound crazy.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, and if y'all got the millions to invest in something that's going on,
that would help stimulate the area.
They don't care about that.
Yeah.
He gave me the breakdown. This area been like this since the 1850s when the Jews and everybody came off the boat.
Yeah.
And they docked right there. They didn't have. He told me everything. They didn't have no plumbing system in Brownsville.
Yeah.
He told me everything. So he is not taking his money, his 1.3 million he was gonna give me, to invest in Brownsville. So he said if I move my shop, maybe he'll consider it.
Yeah.
This
and that's what perpetuates poor black neighborhoods from never getting better. Because when there is that person like yourself who's able to slip through the cracks, create something that is of value, to a bank or an investor, they won't let you do it, you know? And then that's a lot of times, you know, even like black folk will be like, oh, why don't you bring it back to your hood? It's like, we want to. So you seeing me, you doing your research on me, you seeing, and I'm playing with my own finances, my own money, my own, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
My own hustle, because I'm taking everything I got, because I believe in what I got going on, and put it back into my company, put it back into what's going on.
Yeah, you rolling the dice on yourself.
Yes, I got to. I have to. Listen to me. I have to. Yeah. Everything I prayed for, I cried for, everything, I put back into my company.
Yeah.
Everything. This shit owed me. I got hurt behind it. Everything. I was out of work. This arm, $260,000 for this arm. Everything.
Wow.
I was leaving sanitation, coming from work. The cab blew the stop sign, tore me down.
Damn.
When I got up out of shock, the cab was taking off. So the lady was like, yo, he's leaving. So I ran to my bike, kind of found out this shit was dangling like a rubber band.
Wow.
It was nothing I could do. And I was like, fuck. But he got away.
How long did it take you to recover?
I want to say 3 years.
Damn.
Wow. About 3 years, right? Something like shit. I was out for a while.
He still had no pain from
Yeah. Yo, determined. No elbow. All this is reconstructed.
Holy shit.
From here to here. Everything, they was gonna take my arm. I begged him. So when I'm in Bellevue and they got the cage on my arm, I'm in the cage for like a month and a half, 2 months. I'm on the West Side Highway. Ironworks Magazine reached out to me. So they did an interview on me in the hospital.
Wow.
So when I'm doing the interview and I'm hearing the bikes on the West Side Highway, I'm trying to lift myself up to look at the bike to hear the noise.
Yeah.
So the lady, Miss Snips, was like, Meatloaf, you got that bug.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
And mind you now, when I was out on disability, I'm moving around. I remember going to a pizza shop in Williamsburg. It's 24-hour pizza where we go at. And I'm sitting there eating. And he was like, you Meatloaf, right?
You read the article.
Read the article.
Wow.
He reads the article in the magazine.
Ironworks.
He said, yo, you on the cover. I said, who? He said, you on the cover of Ironworks magazine. I never knew it. Never knew at the time.
Wow.
I know I did the interview, but I never knew at the time I was gonna be on the cover of the magazine. From the time he told me that shit, the only 24-hour magazine spot I knew was 42nd Street.
Yeah.
I drove all the way to 42nd Street and I bought all the issues.
Wow.
I swear to God.
Wow.
I said, look at this shit.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So all of that, she said, Meatloaf, she said, I did this magazine, me and my husband had this magazine 25 years and we never had a black person on the cover.
Wow.
So she said, you don't think black people ride bikes? I said, we do, but who's gonna give us the credibility?
The airtime, yeah.
And that's the way I feel about Harley Davidson. It's a million of us that ride bikes.
Yeah.
I don't see no commercials. I don't see no billboards. I don't see none of that.
Yeah.
I said, if I gotta build my own billboard, then that's what it's gonna be. If I gotta take my own money and put my own billboard on Broadway for my own satisfaction, that's what I'm gonna do.
That's funny. People don't do their research, and I'm not taking a shot at this person, but and actually I'm gonna connect you to them. She's the creative director of Harley Davidson Clothing. My first weekend home from the hospital, me and my fiance, she was rolling me in my wheelchair along the Hudson River, and I ran into the woman and her husband, who I know, and she's like, "Oh, I'm creative director of Harley Davidson now, Tremaine. I want to talk to you about possibly collabing, right?" But that's the thing. Again, it's kind of like I'm saying with the other stuff. I'm known, right? But I don't even ride bikes. Why are you trying to collab with me?
Correct.
If you did some research, she pull up to Brooklyn. You ain't that hard to find. No, for real though.
No lie.
So that's a perfect micro for the macro of like how you can be. Even in the book, it says like, you know, black bikers live shadow lives. You know, because it's like even though you're on these loud, beautiful, majestic machines and riding them, you're not seen. You know what I mean?
Still not seen.
You know, which is the most.
You seen, but you're not seen.
Yeah.
We're gonna say it like that. You seen, but you're not seen.
Seen for the wrong things.
Correct.
In a negative way. What's the best part of it? What's the best part of it for you? I know it's just like a basic question, but
what's the best part of
bike riding?
Hanging with my boys. We all together, chilling, laughing, hanging out, enjoying each other's company.
The camaraderie.
Yeah.
I like to find, okay, so the African diaspora, black folk, that's a tribe. That's the big tribe. But then within that tribe, there's a bunch of little tribes, right? And you guys are one of those tribes.
Correct.
You know, and I just feel like, yeah, that is the best part. Just like for me, my little tribe was, you know, me, A-Side, Virgil, and several other people within black culture, you know, guys that are making clothing, guys and girls that are making clothing, Grace Wells Bonner, Martine Rose, so on and so forth. People that look like us, that come from the same place as us, been through the same struggles, that this is the thing we love to do. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm so happy. Mainly I'm just happy you guys are involved in this to flesh out this project. Because, you know, without having you in it, it's not real. You know what I mean? No, for real. I'm curating, but I don't ride bikes. You know what I mean?
Correct.
I appreciate it, and I love what y'all do. But without y'all being involved and putting a stamp on it and co-signing it, it's just clothing. It's meaningless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's easy to tell you what it's not about. It's not about the girls. It's not about recapturing our youth. It's about being seen. It's about being heard. as far as I'm concerned, is as close as you can get to flying without leaving the ground. There is no feeling like being on a bike, and there's no feeling like being with your crew.